Hello, thank you for watching. I feel like it's time to tell you my first and last name instead of just my YouTube name. In hindsight, I wish I would have maybe it would be better if I would have made a character for my channel the way Bering and Sinatra Speaks and Black Pigeon Speaks have done with their channels, so you don't see their faces. I didn't use my name in my channel at first because I don't make money off of YouTube. I have a real job, and I didn't want people at work to come up to me, people I was dealing with at work, and say, you're that guy on the internet. I want to talk about your video. Because when I'm at work, that's not my work. So by having a name at the channel that's not my name, my first attempt of a name, I tried something that somebody else already had. But by my YouTube name being Hammond9631, if somebody walks up to me at work and says, "You're him," I can say, "No, I'm not that guy on the internet," because that guy on the internet is Hammond9631, and I am job title Hammond. And so I could, quickly get away from a not work-related discussion with somebody because they saw my face. But you do see my face if you know me personally. You know who you're talking to. Well, you're not talking. You know who you're watching here. So I might as well let you know I am Mark Hammond. One of my incentives for doing this is perhaps some of my very few YouTube BitChute followers will be interested in reading a novel that I wrote. Here it is. Blackout. The battle begins. Alright. The war begins, I mean. This is a collaboration. You see the co-author there. Can I get it close enough for it to be focused on? Is Justin Hammond. That's my son. The way this came into being is my son would talk about ideas for his own superheroes. And it was fun to hear them, but after a time of hearing him talk about these ideas, I thought, we've got to get these ideas down. Maybe they'll become something. Maybe in a few years, maybe in a few decades, there'll be my son's superheroes all over the place like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are, and Batman and Superman and Iron Man. They're all things that started to an idea. This is a few years ago when my son was younger than he is now. And we started out with this being a television script idea. That's how the story of these superheroes my son created started out. We worked on the television script, and then a radio station had a sweepstakes for $1,600 worth of services from bookbaby.com. That's a company that helps authors self-publish. So if you've got the book idea and you've got enough money to pay somebody to get it out there, you can turn it into a published, copyrighted, with a Library of Congress number book. And we won the sweepstakes, so we got all that without paying for it. We ended up having a cover that was complicated enough to cost us a little bit, but $1,600 of the cost of turning this into reality was covered by that sweepstakes. When we won the sweepstakes, then we converted the television scripts into this novel. 2 episodes of television scripts. My son and I worked a lot together on this for a few episodes of television scripts, and then he wasn't in the mood and I had ideas and I ran with it. He burned out or got tired of making these stories with his superheroes, and I didn't. I'm still doing it. I'm at church today. instead of focusing on I was trying to focus on what the speaker was saying, but I was seeing Night Girl preparing for a battle in my head. It's become consuming. I'm up to season 4, episode 13 of Television Script Ideas. And these are 24 episode long seasons. And so that's how this came to be. Now, some more details. Which part of this was mine and which was my son's? Can we say that certain things were definitely his and definitely mine? Oh, yes. This started off with him talking about his superhero ideas. So he picked the names, Secret Identity, and the superhero name. Their superpowers. Their superpowers, where they were, where they are, the setting, settings. So, what are those things? Well, Blackout is the leader of the main group of 6 superheroes. Well, the starting group of 6 superheroes. The number of superheroes grows as the story progresses. But you're just seeing 6 superheroes in the beginning novel. Blackout's secret identity is Bruce Strong. There's Black Speed. His secret identity is Jason Haver. Black Shadow's secret identity is Dave Braveman. Nightboy's secret identity is Tim Fellows. Night Girl's secret identity is Bella Surprise. And Dark Kangaroo's secret identity is Jade Carr Parter. The setting is this world only with people having superpowers, but limited numbers, not like some superhero story creators out there have worlds where a genetic mutation gives somebody superpowers and there are, an extreme number. The way the superheroes get their superpowers is a way that I've never heard of a superhero getting their superpowers before. My son is creative and he had this great idea. The main supervillain's animal helper and one other main supervillain are my son's ideas. Lightning Lord is the main supervillain. He doesn't have a secret identity. He's just Lightning Lord, and we don't know where he comes from or how he has his powers, but he has them. So the setting is this world. I pointed that out. More specifically, this starts out in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, Canada. Yeah, Canada, we gave you some superheroes. My son, he had this great idea, and he was being creative. He didn't just say, we're going to put him in our city. We're going to put him in New York City or some... it's possible for somebody to put superheroes in New York City and they're being creative about it, but not being creative about that aspect of where they are. But my son put him in a town I've never heard of being used for a fictional story before. Alright, so those are the main characters. Alright. And as I worked on the scripts, I did the heavy lifting. I did the converting of a script, first 2 episode script ideas into the novelette. Full disclosure, this is how thick the paper version is. So, if you buy it, great. Don't buy it because I promised you hours and hours of reading. It's this much reading. In fact, I hope you'll buy it. Yep, so I've done the main lifting up, but I ran ideas by him. The two of the main characters here, they're Sunday school teacher. She is an ex-lesbian. I don't remember if we gave her much. She doesn't have much to do with the novel if we mentioned her at all. But in my ideas for the television scripts, she's a big part of it, or develops more as the scripts go on. Alright, so what did I contribute to it, since this is us working together, and I'm working off of my son's foundation, so he got it started. He picked two of them would be best friends. He picked two of them would be dating. We rolled back the dating to they've got an interesting relationship. But the best friends, they stayed. My son let me tweak the ages a little bit to make sure they were all in high school together. And they get their powers on a school field trip. And buy the book if you want to find out what happened on the school field trip. Let's see. So I contributed that. I gave them more of their personality, especially as the story develops and I write more episodes for the television script idea. I gave their secret identities their religions. And whether they have siblings and how many siblings. So, it's a superhero novel. There's action, there's fighting, there's supervillains to be defeated. But one thing I did about their secret identities is made it obvious we're dealing with kids who are religious. So I think that's good for society if some of our fictional superheroes are religious and not people who have strippers stripping for them on their private airplanes flying around to sell weapons. Alright, so two of them, their secret identity's religion is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. One reason I picked that is that's what I know the best, because that's what I am, that's what I grew up with. I'm sticking with it because it's true, not because I grew up with it and am lazy about changing that. And since we got two of them, one thing I tried to do is they do have short conversations about different things, and different topics come up as time goes on and episodes happen. These two characters that are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints take different positions on things which are not dogmas of the church, things where the church does not take a position. So you can see the different ideas and possibilities of people who can come to that are faithful to their religion. Two of them are born-again Christians, evangelical Christians. And I did the same thing with those two. In reality here, the setting is this real world, so I picked religions from this real world from my fictional characters. There are born-again Christians that will acknowledge that some other people are Christians too. They will acknowledge that members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are Christians, that religion is a Christian religion, or a Christian sect. And then there are others, no, they're cultists. Oh, such a scary word. Sorry to scare you with such a scary word. But there are people like that. Oh, they're a cultist. They're not Christians because they don't believe. And then people say nothing about Jesus Christ, some of them. Wait, but wouldn't what somebody thinks about Jesus Christ be why somebody's a Christian? Or some people, they will not acknowledge you as a fellow Christian if you don't believe, hundreds of pages of detailed explanations about everything. So we got that. We have one lonely Catholic in the group. So there's that. I picked Catholicism for him, partly because it's a religion I can easily learn about. It's common, it's widespread. I do have respect for Catholicism and Catholics. He's going to reflect the Catholic view of things that which I have more respect for. You know, there's variety among Catholics, and he's more like the real life Catholics that I have, for which I have respect, for whom I have more respect or agreement than others. The sixth superhero is not a Christian. She is a Sikh, and if you know anything about Sikhism, you know which one I'm talking about from when I just went through their names a minute ago. I have great respect for that religion. It's interesting to learn about it, and I forced myself to learn more about it, so I would make sure the fictional Sikh said things, thought things that are possible, realistic for a real Sikh. So I would not misportray that religion. Alright. Anything else to tell you? So, I'll put some links in the description in case any of you want to buy the book. And if you're a fan of the book, you can say that you are one with Blackout. Here's our little advertising slogan and sign with each other. One finger. Why am I saying one with Blackout? And why is our other advertising slogan? Maybe I'll trademark this sometime soon. I intend to trademark it. So copycats out there. Yeah, I had the idea. Blackout. The one hero. The one superhero we need. But I gave you 6 names. Some of you might be saying, but you said 6 names. You're terrible at math. But they have one goal. Hopefully they stick together and stick to that goal. You'll have to keep buying new episodes and new novels as they come out to find out. In English, we don't usually use the same word to describe a group and individuals. One exception to that is army, but that's also not an exception. The army is composed of soldiers. The army is also composed of smaller armies. When you learn about history, Patton's Third Army was a part of the American Army. But usually we don't do that. The sports teams are composed of athletes or players. The Air Force is composed of flight wings. Schools are composed of students. But since they've got one goal, and they don't have, none of them are all powerful, they're going to need to work together. Let's describe them as one. They're one in that way. Alright, thank you for watching. You have a good day.